Cassidy versus Arsonal. Woo! Not super excited, can't lie. No hate or anything, just not crazy excited about this battle. Here's the thing, man. Let's be honest for a moment. Cassidy's first showing. I've watched all I've watched the champions. I've watched all these things. I watched them. I listen. I'm gonna say a couple points that I agree with, and I'm gonna get right to it. But listen. So Cassidy he wants us to believe, battle rap community, that he 30'd Goods and then had leftover verses for him. Here's the thing. We all watched it. Unless you're kind of like a delusional Cassidy fan, then going into that battle, you were like, Cassidy's gonna 30 Goods no matter what. Unless that was how you felt. And then afterwards you were like, oh, they were haters, like, blah, blah, it's gonna be different with home field, blah, blah. Man, let's be honest. Cassidy's first was decent. It was good, but it was not great. There was a lot of he's back kind of feel. You know what I mean? And a lot of people said that. But there was also like a star, he's a star. Like, he's a great rapper. The first was pretty good, but then the second and third was like, it was just kind of throwaways. Like, it was almost like, okay, this is T-Rex versus Cassidy just doing mixtape bars at this point is what it should be. Like the old school thought of whoever runs out of material first loses kind of thing. It wasn't like, that was some, like, I felt like if it was Rum Nitty versus Cassidy, and nothing towards Goods whatsoever, but I really felt like if it was Rum Nitty versus Cassidy, it would have been even worse, because Rum's punches are so freaking hard that it would have just absolutely, it would have shown where the culture is at now compared to where the culture was back in 2006. So, and again, no shade or anything. It's just different now. It's just very different. So, here's my thought, right? So, Arsonal versus Cassidy. Arsonal, I've never, again, nothing towards him. I've never really been an Arsonal fan. The disrespect and stuff, like, people like it. I don't really care. No one, I go back to what Ilmac said when he was breaking down a battle with Avo, and he said, no one is ever going to go back to the tape and say, you know what? It was that disrespect in the second round that edged it for me. No one ever goes back and says because they were so disrespectful, they won. It just doesn't happen. So, with that, and I agree with that fully. So, with that said, like, to me, it gets boring after a while, honestly. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, like, he's disrespectful, he'll do that and this and that. Like, but there was a very different Arsonal against Twerk in London and against Geechee. Different. He went to a different kind of like place in his style and his writing abilities and his performance, and showed that he can do that. Now, for what it's worth, I saw that Verb put out a tweet that said, like, I just heard Arsonal's material for this, and it's even better than the material for Geechee. This is going to be bad. Now, if that is the case, this is going to be very bad for Cassidy, because here's the thing. If Cassidy, for the battle rap community, Cassidy lost very clearly. Some may edge the first round to him. I don't agree. I think it was a 30. And the last 2 rounds were very bad for Cassidy. For now, if and he's like, oh, okay, you know, I was only at like a 5.5 or a 6 at that point. Okay. So now it's like, okay, we're going into him versus Arsonal, and he's in his hometown. This, to me, if Cassidy, because we all know Cass can sell a fight. Sold this one. But my thought is that if he doesn't show up and really show that if he does the same thing versus Goods, I don't see the community wanting him back. I don't see the battle rap culture, the battle rap community wanting him back, and you're hearing everyone screaming for Cassidy to come back. Because at that point, it's like, bro, you can sell a fight, but when you get in there, it don't happen. It really just doesn't happen. So my whole thought is, like what was said, again, kind of trending on Twitter and trending in the, you know, Arsonal said it in the face-off. Like, you can sell it, but then you can't fight in the, like, when you get in the ring and you got your opponent, it don't happen. So if that's the case, man, if it's going to come down to you can sell it really good, but then you don't get it what you paid for, I don't want to go to work at a job many days just like everybody else. We don't want to be there. You know what I mean? We'd rather be doing something different. And those are, you know, that's just how it is sometimes. But and then take that money that you've earned, your hard-earned money, spend it on what you were sold on, and then not get it. Because people are going to start pulling away from the culture, in my opinion, very slowly. But they're going to start pulling away from the culture and being like, if that's what's going back to, like, you know, that's not what I want to be a part of. So, in my opinion, man, I can see Cassidy has to make adjustments. He has to make adjustments to be to kind of keep up with the culture. Not that he can't, man. He can. That's the crazy part. Like, it's Cassidy. It's not, you know, it's not like we're talking about someone else that just hopped on the scene. Like, he's like one of the freaking pioneers of this, and it's like, I can't. Of course, he can, you know, get to the point where it's like he can really hold his own with these guys. We're talking about, hey, he's going against top tiers, and obviously he's not going to come back and go into the PGs. It's just never going to happen. But like, at some point, if he were to go from Arsonal right now, and if he were to really lose like he did against Goods, what's going to happen if he goes against a Twerk or against a Nitty? Like, what's really going to happen? That's going to be that's going to be freaking rough. We're all going to be sitting there. I won't even watch it. I won't care. Not a part of me is going to care. So, man, at the end of the day, I think it'll be 2-1. I think Cass may get around. And it'll be 2-1 Ars. Especially if Ars is coming harder than he went after Geechee. And I personally had Arsonal beating Geechee, and I like Geechee. And I'm not a huge Arsonal fan. I'll always try to stay unbiased because it's like these guys work really hard at their craft, and, you know, they're doing all this stuff. But so I try to give credit, obviously, where credit is due. But, like, man, it's I really, like, I was cheering for Geechee to win because I like Geechee, but, like, I personally don't think he had enough, and I think Arsonal just, like, that was a crazy different Arsonal that I'm used to seeing. So if that Arsonal comes, even in Philly, 2-1, possible 3-0. But, man, like it, dislike it, subscribe, unsubscribe. I don't really care. I just like doing this. So, but if you comment who you think will win and why. All right, man.